Okay. All right. Well, welcome to those of you that were able to make it to, this is literally just our welcome meet greet, just to give you an idea of how we're going to structure this for the next 30 days, basically. In essence, stuff that I did was 28 days long. So it gives us a little extra room to kind of like meet and greet, brainstorm a little, and then make sure that we have a day or two for catch up, because it was a lot of work in the beginning. The first 2 weeks are going to be the busiest. Some of you who are in the mentorship Jumpstart Your Business program have done some of these basic exercises already. I mentioned to Jeanette, who's on this call today, that a big chunk of it's going to be figuring out exactly who is the audience you're speaking to when you're launching your podcast. For those of you that don't know, I've been making videos since 2006, and about 3 years ago, I went hard, consistently making videos online, specifically through Facebook and sometimes through Instagram. And what it did is it created this level of authority that I didn't expect to happen. However, my branding coach at the time has said, Chaya, you want to play a short-term game and a long-term game. The long-term game is for you to dominate in a specific industry. The short-term game is for you to now start letting people know that you have your live stream going, because at the time it was a live stream, it wasn't a podcast, and inviting guests. You want to become the person that interviews and not just shares your journey. And so over the last 3 years, I've been able to bring on to Late Night with Chaya or Chaya Lopez Live people that I've interviewed, which then turned into other people inviting me to their live streams or their podcasts. And that honestly is where the magic happens. If I were to summarize what I want you to walk away with is, one, be very clear on who you're speaking to and where you want to take them, because the idea here is to launch a profitable podcast, not just, hey, I want to share a story. I've had so many people that have reached out saying, I have a live stream, but I'm not really making money. Video doesn't work online for me. Or I started a podcast and yes, I have downloads, but nothing's happening. And there's missing pieces to that. There are certain things that you want to say in your audios or in your videos that will cause people to take actions. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be breaking down, I guess you could say, the background, the psychology behind why marketers do certain things with their posts, with their videos, with their audios. But secondly, the other thing I want you to walk away with is your network is huge. You have to be already building a network, because the only reason this next podcast I'm launching has key influencers saying yes is because I started building those networks a long time ago. Now, with that being said, if you haven't built a network in your niche, that's okay. We're going to go through what I call some ninja strategies to connect with those people that don't even know you, but maybe you've been following them, you've done your research on them, and you're now going to reach out to them in a specific manner that we're going to cover. And then that'll lead to those people either saying yes or saying no, but it'll get you a step closer to getting key players on your first launch. So the key here, as we're building everything, is your launch date. So my launch date, for example, is August 23rd for this next podcast. The podcast is called The Energy Expansion. Who is the podcast for? It is for the spiritually minded entrepreneur who doesn't know how to gain visibility online or offline, but wants to impact the world. They want to be that healer. They want to be that game changer, right? And what do? We bring on experts in the industry that have already developed their own spiritual brand or have embedded their spirituality into their business to build a business that's balanced with their life, their mind, their body, and their business, right? So then now I can turn around, which my new brand title I've developed is the spiritual business mentor. Now I can own that title, right? Now I'm that expert interviewing other experts. So at the end of this, we want to get you guys to that point where you can, in 1 minute or less, say exactly what's the title of your show, who is it for, why do they need to listen to it, and who are you? And we call those like your identity pillars. We're going to actually be reviewing the course that I did because it would take me a lot longer to give you all the summaries than to just share with you. That's why we're going to be doing this in Zoom. I'm going to share with you some of the lessons, the key parts of the 28 days. And I'm also going to share with you the worksheets plus my own tips on how to get through those worksheets faster. Hence why I'm calling this the inner circle. The idea with the inner circle is if you choose to stay in the inner circle is month to month, we're going to take on one action, one massive action to expose your business to a larger audience. This month, it's the podcast. Next month, we're going to talk about how I was able to publish 3 books without having to be the main writer. Okay. So we're going to talk about being a published author and what that does for your credibility and your network and networking abilities to reach these quote unquote influencers. And then after that, we'll figure out some other things. But my idea right now is to start with a podcast. If you choose to stay in this for next month, we're going to be moving on to a book. And then after that, it really is going to be about building professional networks. The place to do that is LinkedIn and, oddly enough, Twitter. Okay. So that's so far the 3 months that I've outlined. As we evolved, as we go, courses that I've paid minimum $1,000 on up, I do not skimp on my online education. So instead of saying, hey, go take this course, the inner circle really is about me sharing with you what I've done with these courses to get me more exposure. And I'm basically giving you the highlights, consider it the Cliff Notes version, so that it'll, 1, save you money, and 2, save you time. So that's the summary of it. I think I did that in less than 10 minutes. I feel so accomplished. All right, I want you guys to kind of introduce yourselves. Hopefully you can get your audios working. Anastasia, you came on first, so why don't I have you introduce yourself to the Inner Circle group and just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you want to have more visibility online.
Well, I'm Anastasia. I'm a massage therapist and a mom that homeschools. And I have a really long, really varied background in managing my own mental health and personal trauma. And I want to use my experiences in coming back from that and finding a place of wellness to help teach other women how to do the same thing and like develop a life that they love and they want to be in.
Nice, nice. So it sounds like you have the foundations for where you're like the big map. You have that vision, right? Like
Yes.
if I were to say, what's the vision? What's the mission? I would say start defining your mission inside of the big picture. Okay. And then
it's really about developing a knowledge of self-care beyond bubble baths.
that's cute. Okay. I like that. Okay. Love it. All right, Miss Jeanette, if you can unmute yourself and share with the group who you are, why you want to be more visible online.
I'm Jeanette Sabathia. I'm a mom, a registered nurse, a blogger. I like writing. I like talking to people, and I just feel I have a lot to offer, but I'm not quite sure which way to go and how to do it.
Okay. If you were to think about, like, here's the audience I want to serve, who are those people that you want to serve?
Probably moms, I'm in my 60s, so like middle age to older.
Okay. Okay. And you and I have had these conversations before, so it'll be fun to get you to take these worksheets and start doing what I call the deep dive. Because it's just an exploration of who is that person that ideally you're helping, and where are you wanting to take them, right? Like, what is that end result you want them to have?
Yeah.
So for, is it that you want them to feel more confident? Is it that you want them to feel more vibrant? Is it that you want them to make more money? Like, you got to figure out what's that end result, where you want to take your ideal client. Because at the end of the day, like I've said to you before, whatever you're writing, whatever you're posting has to speak to that audience, but you've got to be willing to take them somewhere. Otherwise, you're just speaking to share, which is not, there's not a problem with that. Just that as entrepreneurs, we want to get to a point where we're monetizing on what we're sharing and not just for the sake of sharing. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay, Jose, you're up next. So let the group know who you are, what you do, and why you want to have more visibility online.
Yes, my name is Chaya Lopez. My photography. The reason I wanted.
You're cutting in and out, Jose.
Oh, gee, sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, it's good, I must say.
Okay, there you go. That should work.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see.
Hopefully I can any. Okay. So yeah, I'm a photographer. Recent visibility to grow anything.
Okay, you're cutting in and out. I'm going to give the world the summary version of you, if that's okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, well, connect. Guess I can hear you too.
Okay. All right, so Jose is a photographer. He has a desire to help other beginning photographers. I got the pleasure of spending a workday, what I call a workday with Chaya, with him yesterday, and got to hear more of his story, what he's actually wanting to do. And then we were able to actually start to map out the journey he's going to take people through. And at the end of the day, I was wowed by the fact that here's someone that grew up with a speech issue that they thought was a physical speech impediment. And then as he got older, they realized, oh, this isn't something we can correct physically. So he had to learn on his own how to deal with some of these speech issues so that he would, quote unquote, feel normal, right? Yet along the way, that caused them to be more of the quiet, shy person, withdrawn or in the background, getting used to being in the background. And one of the core wounds we discovered yesterday was this, like, I hide, and it's not because he's not smart, but he hides because he doesn't want the world to see like the real Jose, right? Like, he's too afraid that in that space they're going to hear how he speaks and they're going to label him as somebody that's not smart enough. It took a couple of hours to get there, so it was beautiful to now uncover that, because one of the things I teach you guys is turn your quirks, or what you think are your things that are wrong with you, into your superpowers. Because at the end of the day, there are people out there in the world that are waiting to hear from someone like you, to be inspired by someone like you, to be motivated by somebody like you. And they want to see the journey, but they want to hear your successes too. Because then if you're doing it, that means they're able to do it. And so Jose's gone on to be I told him, I'm surprised you don't speak about this more, but he's one of the main photographers for the local newspaper. He also is one of the main photographers for a couple of the radio stations. And on top of that, he's traveled to do destination weddings and destination quinceañeras. And I'm telling him, right, from an outside perspective, not everybody gets to live that. Not everybody gets to experience that. Most people would stop at, I think I want to be a photographer, and that would be it. So welcome to the Inner Circle, Jose. I'm so happy that you said yes to being here. Miss Farida,
Hi.
you're up next.
Yeah.
She's like, what are we
No,
doing?
I just got off work.
No problem. We're just doing a meeting. You're going to be the
Okay.
last ones, and just tell you do be visible online. Like, why do you want more visibility?
Am I supposed to be doing that now?
Yeah, just say it.
I would like more visibility online to share ideas that I've had for a long
I'll
time.
introduce you, woman. I'll introduce
Oh.
you. It's okay. You focus on driving. So Farida is a body worker, a Reiki practitioner, and in my opinion, a brilliant artist. Also makes jewelry. And she's been in our Jumpstart Your Business group for a little bit now. Just finally gotten to the point where she's nailed down these main things that we talked about, right? Who's your audience? What's your message? Where do you want to take them? Now, she's been able to package her first program, made her first $111 from one video. So I'm thrilled to have her in here because now she gets to amplify that thing that she's been doing, because this really is how do we structure so that we amplify ourselves because of our network. And at the end of the day, I think we're all heart-centered entrepreneurs, and we're drawn to help people and make a difference. It's your duty as this person that says, I want to help people. You have this desire to give back, and we're a money-driven world. There is a currency there. So in order for us to amplify what we want to do, whether that's save for our kids' college, buy a new house, buy a new car, or for me, I want to build a retreat center, then that means we have to be willing to grow. And the quickest way I know how to do that is to grow online, but to grow through your network and leverage the tools that you have to get your message out there. All right, guys, that's it. That's the intro. I already set up the Inner Circle group. We're going to be adding people to that group tonight. We just want to make sure that the welcome message and the first unit is set up. So tonight, and when I say tonight, I'm talking about like 11 o'clock midnight my time, I will be adding people. Officially start tomorrow for you guys. There will be work sheets inside of there that I recommend tomorrow first thing in the morning. Go in there, print them out, or if you're going to download them and do it on the computer, then you can do that. And then we need to, I'll post a poll. Agree when we'll have a once a week live Q&A section. Other than that, I'm going to be posting a video or sharing one of Jamie's videos. Jamie's the name of the gentleman I took my class with, the group. And then we get to review it together. So then, if you guys have any questions, please message me, myself, all of you, is to make sure that you amplify by getting your podcast done. Lots of kisses. Thank you for saying yes. There's a couple more classmates that didn't show up, but you'll see them once you guys are in the group. Until tomorrow, I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys, and I'm honored that you said yes. Bye, guys.